Alright guys, so I'm gonna basically give you a little bit of a quick tutorial here on how to use the new tabletop. I'm gonna do it in two parts, one as sort of an overview of the tabletop itself, and then one that's more in depth of like how you use your character. So first, when you take the link, you're gonna select your name here. Your password will be your name. You'll select join game session. You'll get a little pop-up that shows up here that'll ask you to select a character, which you'll only have access to the ones that I grant you ownership to, so you'll just select your character. And then you'll be brought here to the tabletop. So I just want to go over sort of a basic overview first of the layout of everything, and then I'll go over like the character sheets and abilities and stuff like that. So essentially, over here on the left, we have our main menu. So these are categories, and then these are the selections within each category. So starting with token controls, you have select. This is how you select your token. You can only select tokens that you own. So like you don't own this guy, so you can ping him by holding down on him, but you can't select him. Target, this is how you're going to target enemies that you're going to attack. I'll go over this when we're playing, but essentially this is going to become a new thing that we're doing where before you attack something, you're going to target it. I'll show you why in the next section. Measurement, this is how you just measure distance from you to something. It will take the easiest path for you to get there. Just, typical measurement tool. And that's all you're going to be using there. Other measurement tools, these are circles, cones, rectangles, and rays. These are used for measuring things like, your fireballs and stuff like that, though a lot of that's going to be automated, which you'll also come to understand later. So that's it for the left side of the screen. On the bottom here, you have a macro bar. It takes JavaScript knowledge to understand the macro bar. If you want to dive into that, we can go over it individually, but I'm not going to include it in this little tutorial video because it's not really relevant for most people. Over here, it's going to be sort of the main view panes, and all of these will pop out and can be used as pop-up windows also, which can be dragged around. So I'll show that at the end, but first I'll just go through the categories. First is going to be chat. This is where dice rolls are going to show up. You can also use this to manually roll by doing like roll 20, stuff like that. Also stuff that I share with you, little chat bits will come up here. We can share memes. It's just kind of this is our Discord, right? Here will be the initiative order. So the way initiative works is basically I will toggle you as the GM in and out of combat. And when I toggle you in combat, you'll see you pop up here, and actually you can just click right here to roll initiative, advantage, normal, disadvantage, situational bonuses, and when you roll, your initiative will actually automatically be added to the initiative tracker here. You can also ping using this, whatever you want to see. Next, actors. This is basically where your token is going to be, and one of the two ways that you can access your character sheet, which I'll show in the next session. But essentially, you can either double-click this to bring up your character sheet, or you can double-click your character to bring up your character sheet. Yep. That's what actors is for. Players like Gawain will have access to multiple actors for his wild shapes. Anybody who has a summon, like Herberin, may have access to multiple actors. But many people will just have access to their player. Items, this is where I can hand out anything that's relevant to the virtual tabletop. We're probably not going to use this very much, but maybe one day. Notes, journal entries. So basically, I've created a journal entry and I've shared it and given everybody view permissions to it. And we've got a nice, funny, immature message here. But basically, this is how I can hand out loot tables, money notes, NPC names, that sort of thing, just general notes. So all of our notes will be referenceable and categorized here. So you won't be constantly searching through Discord channels for stuff. You'll have actually layered notes here, which I probably won't have ready by tomorrow, but over the course of us building this, that'll grow and get better. Next, rollable tables. This is where I can add like a roll table for something like the magic beans that Queen has, just so you can see it on hand, like the D100 table. Cards. This has a function to actually fully integrate full card games. So like we could play in a tavern, gambling. We could even play like poker with each other one night if it ever came up relevant. We just wanted to fuck around and play cards. It supports all different types of card decks, tarot cards and regular cards, and also like Magic the Gathering cards, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just a card widget playlist. You guys are not going to be owning the playlist. I will be owning that, but basically I'll be able to play music, sound effects, and ambience, and you will be able to adjust the volume of that using here. So this is basically your volume dashboard. Copendum, this is a reference table. I don't necessarily know that I like that you guys have access to the monster manuals, but I don't really use monster manual monsters anymore. But you do have a D&D Beyond reference here for all of our stuff. And this is basically a link into Dungeons & Dragons Beyond, as well as any owned content that we have, shared maps, anything I hand out, etc. Settings, this is where you can configure your password, your user settings, what stuff looks like, view support articles if you need to, whatever. You probably won't. But yeah, so that's just the basic overview here. You can collapse this and then grab these, and they'll become pop-outs. And then you can resize them. This is limited to the application, but then if you have multiple monitors or multiple screens, or if you just want to use a separate window, you can click this pop-out button, which will actually create, you can see a separate web page, which you can minimize and etc. And you'll also be able to drag this one around. So hopefully that helps get everybody started. That's just sort of a basic overview of usage. I'll do a second video where I cover like how you use your character sheet